Watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming. But know this, if the master of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken in. Therefore you also be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I have a quote for you. Wow, that is awesome. It scared me. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. How many of y'all know that? Star Wars? It's a new movie, just came out. I think it came out last week, I'm pretty sure. So, most of us know what this week happens to be in America. Get ready and embrace Family Week. Yeah. Thanksgiving too, but mainly family. And so, in Thanksgiving, you're either preparing one of two ways. Some of you are going somewhere else and you're packing up, you're getting ready, you're getting all the things in order so that you can go somewhere. The other half of you are preparing the house. You're cleaning and trying to get everything spotless, and then the anxiety begins. Right? I don't know about you, but this is how my Thanksgiving works in my family. You get this anxiety. Well, such and such is coming. They expect a clean house. I cleaned it a year ago. and you have this, idea that you want to be ready, you want everything to be perfect, and so you get this, anxiety. And then it builds up. And builds up. And then by the time you're there, you're kind of already mad at them. They haven't done anything yet, but they're mad because they expect, they're going to expect a clean house, I know it, and it's already frustrating you. Before they even get there, you've already gone from fear to hate. They're going to suffer. Thus, the dark side. And then you have the whole, you're going there, and why do I have to be the one who goes this year? Why can't they come here this year? In my wife's family, I'm the black sheep, I think. I live out of state. I will never live close to them. And they all live in like a clannish thing, like they're an hour from each other just in case something happens. And so they never come to visit us. They're always like, why don't you come to visit us? No, y'all come once. And then you get there and it's all, well, I have 2 kids, but I have the youngest kid, and so who gets to win having the event? So they don't have to travel with the little ones. And fear, and anxiety, and anger, and frustration leads to hate, which leads to the dark side. But in this story, we're talking about Palm Sunday, and it's the same concept of the King is coming. And so you look at this spiritually, and you go, some of us honestly need to work on our houses. And we're looking at it and we're saying, when Christ comes, do we really want our house to look like that? And it's the same cleanup concept, except it's spiritual. Should I really have that in my life? What about this? And it may be that it's one of those, are we prepared to leave? Have we built up our spiritual life so that we are ready to go and we don't have anything that's holding us back? Are we worried that if God comes tomorrow, we're like, well, will we get, long enough so I can call everybody? So I can do those things I should have been doing in the first place, but I need to pack up those last things so I can, go. And it works pretty much the same. You get this fear, anxiety, frustration at Christianity. Because you get this beat down concept because you're rushing to get ready. And there's a trick to Thanksgiving, doing it in advance. My wife's like, if you pack in October, just leave it in that thing and then don't touch it. And then you won't worry about packing. And I was like, that's dumb and stupid. It was really smart when I got to do it. I was like, I can't live without that much clothes. And she goes, it's 3 days of clothes. And I did it, and I was surprised how much I'm just like, okay, let's throw everything in the car and leave. It felt really good. And then she had this other idea, which I never tried. I give up pretty much before I even start, is let's clean before somebody comes over. Like days, maybe even a week. I've never tried it. I assume it's once again a good idea. I'm one of those, they'll be here in 30 minutes. What can we do in 30 minutes? How many closets do I have to shove something into? Does it look good enough? Okay. And so what is it? It's this idea we wait to the last minute and then, frustration. Pure frustration. And today's story is that of the Messiah coming. And the trick being the same. If we get ready today, then all loose ends are tied up when he comes. Okay, excellent. I'm ready. Our house is already cleaned and swept, and we're ready to go. We have a good spiritual house, and we're ready to go. It doesn't come, oh, last minute. I need to fix a bunch of stuff. Ooh, do I really have time? So today's story is that of Palm Sunday. I know we're preparing for a great holiday, Pascha. We'll celebrate Easter in, 4 weeks? And so, we are right now on the triumphal entry, the time where Jesus reveals himself. Mark chapter 11, starting in verse 1. Now when they drew near to Jerusalem, to Bethphage and Bethany, at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village in front of you, and immediately, as you enter it, you will find a colt tied, on which no one has ever sat. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord has need of it, and will send it back here immediately.'" And they went away and found a colt tied at a door outside the street, and they untied it. And some of those standing there said to them, "What are you doing untying the colt?" And they told them what Jesus had said, and they let them go. He comes on a colt. The whole idea is he's coming as a king, but if he comes on a horse, he's going to even further give them that image that he's some type of warring king. So he comes on this small donkey. You wouldn't want to ride into battle, probably just better to walk. And he comes as this humble king, but he comes just as the king comes. He comes through the gate and enters Jerusalem, and they're all expecting. They're expecting this at some point. This isn't a surprise to the person. He says, there's a colt, and you'll have to explain to them about the Messiah, and then he's going to come, and da-da-da-da-da. He's like, just tell them what the king needs it. And they're all expecting it. The whole nation of Jerusalem is ready for their king to come, and so when you say, hey, the king needs it, they'll be like, okay, the Messiah's coming. And then they begin to praise him. Mark 11, verse 7. And they brought the colt to Jesus, and they threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. And many spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut from the fields. And those who went before and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our father David. Hosanna in the highest." And he entered Jerusalem and went into the temple. And when he had looked around at everything, as it was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. He comes in, and what do? I hate that this is called Palm Sunday. Honestly, if I put a leaf on the ground or my coat, which do I think is a bigger deal? These men are not just cutting leaves and putting it on the ground. They're using palms because it represents a king. But they're also doing something else. Others are taking off their coats. Laying those coats not just on the donkey for himself, but they're laying them on the ground for this donkey to walk on. So that when this king comes in, he has this beautiful entrance. You just imagine this wedding where you roll up the little walking thing that's sometimes made of material. I don't even know what that shiny stuff is. And you walk out on it, and it's this idea of this entry. And so, they don't have a giant carpet to roll in front of him, so they take off their own coats. And they lay it in front of him as he enters. And others run and, get tree branches and cut them and lay these palm trees down. because they were all ready. The king is coming, and all of a sudden it seems like everybody seems to be ready. I'm probably going to miss it. I'm going to be running around trying to do something. Oh wait, I got to go tell these people the king is coming. Oh, I got to go run over here, run over this. And they're just going out to meet him. They're all expecting. So when he comes, it's just a matter of they just walk out there and greet him and then give what they have to him. And this beautiful Sunday where they're shouting Hosanna to the King and praising the glorious King is followed by Wednesday, but at least it's Sunday. And they're prepared for something. Trick is they're not prepared for the right thing, but they are prepared for something. You think about this. This is a Sunday. He's walking, he's coming on a Sunday, and lays his palm branches down and his coats down, and they've got this huge, and they're just rejoicing. That's all Hosanna is. It's a sound of rejoicing. And they're just screaming this and praising, and they're talking about David and the king finally coming and everything, and they're ready for something. And Monday and Tuesday, I don't know, Jesus does some teaching, visits some people. Okay. By Wednesday, they're already upset. By Wednesday, they're already trying to figure out how to catch him. They're already trying to figure out how to put him to death. He comes on Sunday. He has failed so bad in 2 days that instead of going Hosanna, they're ready to try to crucify him. Because they were prepared for something. And I like this image because the thing is, you know the story of Mary and Martha. Mary loved God. So she comes and she sits at his feet and listens to him. Martha loved God. So she runs around the house and cleans up and does everything that's important to get the house neat and clean. Well, Mary's not helping, so Martha goes and tells Jesus. She's like, Mary's not helping me at all. I'm having to do it at work. And Jesus, instead of answering, okay, well, I'll fix that, says, well, Mary's doing what's most important, and I'm not going to take that from her. She's doing the most important thing. You're just doing other stuff. And when we get ready for Thanksgiving, honestly, I assume most of us are, looking for vacuum, trying to find that thing we did. Trying to dust things we haven't dusted in years and don't want to know what's up there. This is Thanksgiving for many of us. We're getting ready, and what are we focused on? We're focused on, what am I going to pack? I got to have the right clothes. I got to have everything set out in case it might snow, there might be ice. What if it gets warms up? What I'm looking at, how do I prepare the house? They're doing a good job of preparing for the king. They are. They're not doing a good job of preparing for our king. Because if they're preparing for our king, they're looking for salvation from him. Not that he comes in and conquers Jerusalem. They're there to see if he will conquer them. And that's not what this story describes at all. This story describes them taking these images and only seeing one thing and wanting it so bad and focused on one area so much that they're prepared for it that they're missing out on the really big stuff. How well does that fit our lives? We go to meet family and we're concerned about cleaning our house. It's fair. We're worried about, what if we don't pack all the right things? I don't know about those. We're not considering all the other things that take place. We're not considering the spiritual elements. We're not considering the fact that it's supposed to be about giving thanks One of those holidays that fits so easily with Christianity that we really don't need to change it. We just walk in and go, this is a holiday that says give thanks to God. Okay, that fits. And in that, we can look at that and we can be like, we need to be more thankful. We need to be more thankful. We need to be worried about, am I appreciative for what I have? Am I appreciative that I don't miss meals? Am I appreciative that